Whenever I go into a Robert Eggers film, I want him to fuck me up, and he did. The Northman finds a young Viking prince on his quest to avenge his father's murder. It's Hamlet with Vikings, directed by Robert Eggers. But before I properly start with my review for The Northman, I want you to let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Are you excited? Have you seen it? How do you rank Robert Eggers' 3 films up to this point? Anything and everything down there. And of course, if you love movies and TV, this is the place to be. So consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss any future conversation on your favorite movies and TV. And big shout out to Universal Studios UK for granting me a chance to watch this one early. I am in a state of astonishment right now. Robert Eggers has been for a while one of my favorite filmmakers, one of my favorite directors and storytellers working today. And he keeps on delivering. The Northman, on the surface, is exactly the kind of movie you expect. It's a revenge action epic that delivers all the violence, all the blood, but it's so much more, surprisingly. I found myself deeply moved by its profound themes on pain, on hate, and how a humanistic look it is at what an effect those emotions have on a person. A lot of that is due to Robert Eggers' fabulous direction in this, but Alexander Skarsgård, I have never seen him given a performance remotely as good as this one. There's a lot of times where he says a lot more without saying a single word, when the shot is just focused on his close-up, when we just see him looking on to what is happening around him when he's trying to think of something. And it's not the most obvious performance. A lot of the times it's not just that rage and hate and I'm going to kill it. It's a lot of that, obviously. But you see a lot of pain and suffering and unhappiness. There's a lot of sadness in him that he always conveys just with his eyes and with his expression. And that is something to behold. Skarsgård is obviously ripped to shreds. He's built like a fucking walking rock in this film. He's an absolute tank. So he pulls off the visceral, absolutely bonkers, brutal fight sequences. But there's also really deep humanity behind his eyes and in his actions. You really notice a difference in the way he speaks depending on who he's speaking to, because this is a character that was bred throughout most of his life like a beast, and he kind of lost his humanity. So along the way you start to really see that humanity coming out from inside him finding what was lost so long ago, and that really showed his versatility as a performer. For as much unbridled, raw, primal fury as Amleth unleashes upon his enemies, Eggers unleashes his unique voice and prowess of storytelling on the audience to glorious results. Eggers also keeps his signature insane ways of storytelling. This is very much his film. This is his voice throughout the screen. He doesn't spoon feed you or anything. This man is going to use symbolism and themes in just the visuals that it beautifully accomplishes throughout this, and that tells the story, and it tells it magnificently. And Eggers once more dives into mythology like he has done in his previous films, this time Norse mythology. And if you guys know me, you know I'm a nut for that shit. The way he explores and reinvents Hamlet, really, to tell it this way with his voice. And he clearly went into deep research mode, because he just makes this story his own. He makes this mythology almost his own in very interesting ways. How he uses the gods and the Valkyrie and Norse mythos imagery throughout this is it's not the cherry on top of the cake, it's all just the cake. The entire film itself is something to behold. The performances from the all-around cast are fantastic, Skarsgård being the standout, but Nicole Kidman and Anya Taylor-Joy are fabulous as well. They really steal the show when it's their scene to steal the show. When it comes for their moment to shine, they really do. Claes Bang, who plays the villainous Uncle Fjolnir, is also excellent in the role. The relationship that is inherently present between hero and villain is so seethingly personal in hate, and also has a ton of ties with Norse mythology. It builds throughout the film so excellently that when it pays off in one of the best, most masterfully pulled off finales I have seen in a third act, honestly, ever. Some of the heroes in this film, and the cinematography is jaw-droppingly gorgeous. The visuals Eggers went for in this film are absolutely insane, and the way he tells this story with visuals and a lot of symbolism, they just don't do films like this anymore these days. The film is much more than a brutal, ferocious, violent quest, and when it wants to be that, it delivers in spades. My god, the action, how it's shot here in this very brawly kind of action choreography when you have violence on screen is wonderful. You guys know I thrive on violence, but it's a lot of the violence he doesn't show that really stands out. But under the surface is where I found really compelling layers of spirituality that the film connects to through its characters that I found very interesting. They gave me shivers down my spine watching this film. The way it mixes that profound spirituality and the violent action on screen and how it all seamlessly connects make for a stunningly immersive experience. It's a tense, intricate piece of filmmaking that just reminds me why I fucking love movies. It's a film that, as much as I love it, I kinda hate that it exists, because this is the shit I dream of making. This is the kind of film I want to make, I want to create out of nothing, and Robert Eggers did that. I struggle to find the words to accurately describe not only The Northman as a film, but the experience of watching it through its jaw-dropping visuals, the stellar performances from the all-around cast, the astonishing sound design, and fabulous score that I cannot wait to inject directly into my brain when it finally comes out. It's the best definition of an epic that you can find. It's a film that demands your full attention, and it demands to be slept on, to be thought of, and the more I think about this film, the more in love I am with its obvious elements, but the surprisingly profound experience that it delivers as a whole. The Northman is a blood-soaked epic, filled with much more profound spirituality than I expected. It is one for the ages, thematically filled to the brim with layers of meaning. It just has so much to take away from it. Narratively, thematically, and emotionally. I am in shock at what Robert Eggers delivered, and the only word that most accurately comes up to describe it is phenomenal. I'm giving The Northman an A. But those are only my thoughts on The Northman. I want to know what you thought of it. If you're excited, if you have seen it, let me know anything and everything down there. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Universal Pictures UK for granting me a chance to watch this one early. And thank you to my channel members Bruna and Stuart for making this video possible, and I hope to see you very soon. There's a ton of videos right now up on the channel, and very soon I'll have my review for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and every week we talk Moon Knight, so episode 3 will also be up very soon. I hope to see you in those, so until the next one, love each other, and love the movies.